Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. With the cuts to teaching and education in Scotland being so long, so deep and so harsh, there is just not enough people in the teaching profession to be able to do the job properly. And subsequently, local authorities are effectively morally blackmailing teachers into working way more hours than they're contracted to fulfil the gaps that they are forced into making because of the lack of funds. Remember, a lot of these teachers aren't even on permanent contracts, just temporary ones, because the councils themselves cannot afford to give them a permanent contract. And these teachers are suffering for it. We just talked in the last video about Hamza's mental health, but it seems it is most teachers in schools as well. Because, of course, they're massively overworked, they're underpaid, they're now being taxed even more. And Scotland has a terrible reputation for attacks within the classroom. It is little wonder so many people are either leaving the profession, entirely, or moving away and moving to England to teach. Certainly there is a record low number of trainee teachers coming through. What will happen while this mess continues is that there will eventually be no teachers whatsoever in Scotland, and the education system will finally implode. Something needs to be done. Money needs to be put in, and ultimately that has to come from central government. There's nowhere else for it to come, thanks to the really stupid idea of a council tax freeze. But central government has got to pony up and pay to fix the problem they have created. Let's take a look. So, teachers are being morally blackmailed into extra hours due to years of SNP cuts. And it's been massive cuts every year for 17 years. There's not been a single year where the education department has had an increase, above inflation increase. And of course, they've constantly cut the money they're sending to local authorities. They've just literally cut everything to the bone, and they're now actually cutting the bone away. The upcoming union conference will be used to demand extra support from the Scottish Government for teachers who are facing burnout and stress. Teachers are being morally blackmailed into working excessively long hours for the sake of their pupils. The presiding officer of a teaching union has warned. It is also claimed that teachers are being burned out due to toxic extra hours as a result of SNP cuts. Now, what the teachers need to do is say, right, I'm contracted till, let's say, 5 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock they put the pens down, shut the books, and walk away. And if the work doesn't get done, and then they say, well, the work's not getting done, you say, well, there aren't enough people. You need to employ more people. Ultimately, that's it. And what you're going to do, you just say, look, it's a health and safety issue. This is how you get around it. It's a health and safety issue. I'm under stress. That comes under health and safety. If you want to push this, then you will pay the consequences for burning me out. And you've made the issue. This is the thing. Under the health and safety rules, if you make an issue known, they are obliged by law to deal with that. That is a health issue. They've got to deal with it. And the only way they can deal with it is to hire more people. That's it. Stuart Hunter of the Scottish Secondary Teachers Association, the SSTA, will use the union's annual conference on Friday to demand better support and resources to help teachers manage their growing responsibilities. He said teachers are often expected to work a toxic amount of extra time outside their contractual 35-hour week, leading to burnout and stress. Yeah, I mean, unless they're getting paid for it, they shouldn't be doing a day over. You wouldn't work for nothing. Why work for nothing? You wouldn't work for nothing. Why should they? Why should anyone? Your time is yours, not, shouldn't be anyone else's. Instead of support, Mr. Hunter said there is a programme of systemic budget cuts. He said, and he argued that the threat of job cuts can often be used as a political weapon. Cuts to mental health support for pupils, he said, has left teachers to fill the void, taking on the job of social workers and educational psychologists alongside their teaching responsibilities. And again, these are things that the council should be paying for via central government and council tax, but they're not. They literally haven't got the cash. What's to do? Give them more cash. In his address to teachers in Glasgow, he said, "I am certain that many, if not all of you, recognise the sources of work that increase our workload from normal to excessive or toxic. We have created a culture whereby teachers cannot say no because it will not look good for them. After all, it's for the sake of the kids." Well, screw the kids, they've got parents. And if it is for the sake of the kids, tell the local authority it's for the sake of the kids. Because another thing you do not want is a stressed out teacher, a stressed out anybody looking after children. Leads to tragedy, often. They said, "We have been conditioned over the years by moral blackmail to take on more and more work. We have been very subtly controlled and coerced into believing that we're letting our students down if we do not take on the additional work for which we are not trained and often, of course, not paid." He went on to state, "Why do we allow ourselves to be emotionally blackmailed to the point we damage our own mental health to do the job we love, to making a positive difference through education to the lives of every student we teach?" And he is damn right. Now, it does need money. It doesn't need a great deal. This is the thing. This is the sad thing. It actually doesn't need a huge amount of money. Certainly less than the £45 million that they're spending on road signs. You know, it doesn't need a lot. And it is just unbelievable wastage by this SNP government that seems to think that road signs are far more important than children's mental and physical well-being and indeed their educational futures. That's the government you've got. Maybe it's time to change that government. Who knows? Certainly for the kids they need a change. They need something that will make their lives better and give them a future. Thanks. We'll come up and we'll round off. To be fair, it's hard enough as a teacher. Yes, you do get a lot of summer holidays, we grant you. But the actual hours sitting in a room with kids is horrific, isn't it? And especially when they're older and capable of attacking you, which does happen. And then you get your employer stressing you, breaking your rules, breaking your contract, because they can't be bothered to spend the money to fix it. It's wrong. Teachers need to say that it's all mental health, therefore health and safety rules, and then sit at home at full pay until it's resolved. They're allowed to do that. That's the law. That'll get the councils active, won't it? That'll then force the government to do something. And maybe they'll stop spending 45 million on road signs and put it where it's needed. Doubt it, though. Thanks very much for listening. We'll finish there. Do please hit the subscribe button massively. This is a big one. Check you're still subscribed as well. There are so many people coming now saying they're getting unsubscribed. And every morning you go up through the day, boom, 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 boom. I wake up in the morning and it's massively down. People are being unsubscribed by YouTube. Check that you're subscribed. And if you are yet to subscribe, hit the button. But most of all, hit the like. Hit the big thumbs up on the video. Thank you very much. I'll speak soon and goodbye.